Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hope you're not tired of us yet to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. Mr. Rick, what's up, man?
Not much. This is just a little thing. I would prefer to be introduced as the two-time pay-per-view prediction contest champion.
Let me write that down.
I just feel like that. Yeah.
Two-time PPV.
Yeah, I just feel like, after all I've been, all the hard work I've done and all the success I've had, I need to be recognized for my achievements.
Absolutely. It was by one this time.
That's right.
I played correctly.
That's right. It was Jack Perry over Christian.
Yes, that is true. And I went with I didn't think it was over.
That's right.
And
neither of us picked Casket bursting into a puff of smoke and falling and disappearing.
Yeah, I don't know why nobody's talking about that. That was incredible.
That was really cool.
That was just different.
It was great.
That's like we talked about in the review show. Some things, you recognized it, but it was just different enough that you didn't.
Yeah,
and that was one of them.
I'm so glad that it worked out.
Yes,
as opposed to like the barbed wire explosion. Like I could just see them there being like a puff of smoke and then the casket just sitting there and like not falling. But no, it was timed properly and like he closed the lid. It fell into the ground in like one motion. It was great.
It was really, really cool. My next question is there going to be some sort of, I really hope there is, Christian like resurrection?
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes. I really hope he comes back and he plays it up. I was thinking about this all day. It's like, you killed me, Jungle Boy, but then I came back.
Yeah, and he's like darker now. Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, amazing. Anyways, we had the fallout from Revolution, and my goodness, what a show. We'll just say that.
Good show. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. A lot happened. And it on paper it looked like, oh, okay, it's going to be decent, but so much happened.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
It was a good follow-up show to the pay-per-view, I thought.
Yes, it was. It was very, very good. Excuse me. Now, this is just my curiosity. Would you have started with the All Atlantic Championship match?
I personally wouldn't have. I think Tony Khan mentioned on Twitter why he did, because Orange Cassidy seems to get pretty good response from both the crowd and rating, so I get it.
True. But
I would have started with someone who had a bigger night at the pay-per-view, like Hangman or Danielson or MJF, someone who like even Ruby's promo, like something like that. Even Ricky Starks, like someone who had a bigger night at the pay-per-view, I feel like I would have started with.
Agreed. I would have started with, and I know that's a very WWE thing to start with a promo, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But I would have started with, like you said, one of the winners or even Ruby explaining the heel turn.
Right.
And then commercial break, come back, and then have your match. But I'm not going to complain. It was a great match, but I was just
Tony couldn't wait to put Jay Lethal on TV again. He's like, I got to do it. I got to put him on first thing. Need Jay Lethal out there.
It's in his contract. He has to be on TV every week. Okay. Did you notice the odd pyro at the beginning that Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was supposed to be like he's Orange Cassidy and that's it. You know, his video kind of is like it's just like writing and like insert cool video. Like I didn't know if that was supposed to be like lame pyro. Because of
it should be from now on,
or if they screwed up. But yeah, either way, that's what he should always have.
It was the look on Chuck Taylor's face, like, was amazing, and then another one did it, and like they all looked like to the right.
Yeah, it made me think their reaction made me think that it was supposed to be actual pyro, like good pyro instead of like the little like puffs of smoke that they got.
They need to keep it.
But now they need to keep it that way. Now that's better. Like
It's way
that's better than
better.
actual
Yes.
pyro.
Yes. Let's hope that was like a happy accident
Yeah.
because it's on point. And then okay, this is another thing I don't understand. Uh, How could the production crew somehow put the on-air announcers live through the PA system in the arena? Did you catch that
No,
too?
I didn't.
Oh yeah, like all of a sudden Taz and Tony Schiavone, like they're talking, and it's coming through the
No, I
TV,
didn't even notice that.
and then it's coming over the PA, and like, and then like it was just like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, if that, and then it comes back like to like TV
How it's supposed to
audio,
be, yeah.
and I'm thinking like, how, how is that even like the same production crew?
Right. Like
Like what?
how is that even an option that's possible?
Yeah,
Right.
like there's not a button. It's like, okay, this makes everybody go in house. This makes everybody go live.
Because
Like,
they're never
no.
like the commentary crew is like never on the in-house mic. Like
Yes.
why is that even? Yeah, that seems like it would require someone to like unplug something and plug it in somewhere else. Yeah.
Exactly. But anyways, other than those two hiccups, it was a fantastic wrestling match.
Yes.
Uh, Jay Lethal and Orange Cassidy, like people were complaining about it on Twitter, and like just enjoy it. Like they're good at what they do.
Right.
There doesn't always need to be. I mean, we talked about it on the review show. Like there's going to be a lot of new things starting. This could be the start of something new.
Right.
It doesn't always need to be like this in-depth thing, and this was an incredible match, a lot of fun.
Yes. Really good. I noticed there was a lot of really good selling. Like Orange was selling the knee
Yes.
injury. And then Jay Lethal was selling the shoulder. Like they both did real like it looked legitimately like they were hurt. It was good.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. The working of the knee to set up the figure four, and then in hindsight, the working the shoulders, the when Lethal tried the lethal injection and his shoulder gave out. That was so good.
Yeah, he did a really good job, like looking like just kind of crumbling. Like it was good.
Yes. And it was like I almost wish. I mean, I'm glad they replayed it, but I almost wish they wouldn't have.
Right.
To be like, oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
So we're not gonna like embarrass the guy.
Right.
But I understand why they did to sell the Orange Cassidy
Right.
hurting his shoulder.
Right.
But anyways, great match. Orange Cassidy wins, and then Double J shows up and hits Orange Cassidy in the knee with the guitar, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh, um, now, do you think we're like, is it going to be like eventually best friends and whatever Jay Lethal's?
Yeah, I assume so. Best friends against Jay Lethal and Jarrett and their buddies.
I just need more Danhausen and Satnam Singh. That's
yes,
all I care about.
They should just do that. I hope they have a singles match. I hope that's Satnam Singh's first singles match.
That would be utterly incredible. Okay. Does Jeff Jarrett like refusing to listen to referees? Is it the greatest thing in the history? Because everybody reacts to it and gets mad, like it's like he's going to get fined or something.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
it's real life. Like the when he was walking down to the ring and like he just like blew past Aubrey, like the look on the dude's face, the front row was like he was like appalled. It was incredible.
Jeff Jarrett, for all the like potential negatives that like it's 2023 and Jeff Jarrett's in like major TV time and like
Yes.
he's on TV a lot. Like I agree, but he's also doing a really great job. Like he's really good at this.
And like it just I'm stumbling over my words because it bothers me that WWE had these people.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be this way for 23 years. Like that's literally I stumble over words to just I can't even put it into words is what I'm saying. Like it didn't have to be like this.
Right.
Anyways, this was a very Renee heavy show.
It was. She was all over the place. She was kind of like felt like she was like hosting the show, like in between segments. It's like back to Renee. Like, yeah, I liked it. I'm not arguing,
yes.
but
I was just gonna say like, not to be funny, but is she becoming AEW's like Mean Gene? Seriously,
right. Yeah,
like it's so, because it's like when if it's Lexi Nair, no disrespect to Lexi Nair, but it's not going to be as important of an interview. Like it's just going to be like maybe an introduction to a promo, or you're really not going to learn anything.
Right.
If it's a Renee interview, like there's going to be probably a challenge made, maybe it's just more official. Like
Yeah,
I hate
and
to say that,
she's
but
definitely more of like a hosting role. Like she kind of leads you through the show. Like, okay, we saw that.
yes,
Coming up next is going to be this, but in the meantime, and then like, yeah, like she,
yes, it's she's so good at what she does. And the promo that Hobbs gave, it was the whole segment was maybe like what 45 seconds, less
yeah,
than a minute.
it's almost like Hobbs doesn't need someone to do promos with him.
It's almost like that, huh? But because that promo was fire, and we'll talk about the ending in a few. But
No,
um,
great promo.
great promo by Hobbs. It is. Do they keep Hobbs here for a minute? Like, or do they re-legitimize the TNT title on somebody new for once?
Yeah, I think he'll have it for a while.
Same here. Like,
I
because
think he kind of has to at this point. Like it's been.
yes, because you know, other than like Sammy had it forever, and then Cody had it for a minute, and like then it was just like kind of thrown around.
Yeah, then there was all this stuff with like American Top Team and like
Yeah, and then Darby had it for a minute. Like again, no disrespect to Darby or any of
yeah,
the champions really, but like there needs to be a long tenured
yeah,
like
I agree.
TNT. There needs to be a long tenured TNT. I couldn't spit that out. TNT title holder. And I hope it's Hobbs. Like because it legitimize the title, make it your. I don't want to say beginner's title because that sounds bad too, but that's what it is. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
uh, make it that and just keep rolling with it. Just let it be almost like I think the TNT title is. I would like to see it just completely have like known for long reigns, kind of like the Intercontinental title in like the '80s, where um, the Honky Tonk Man had it for like literally like 2.5 years.
right.
If they made that the TNT title, I mean,
Do you
Will
think that
Hobbs doesn't
the
need it
All
for two
Atlantic
years.
or spoiler alert, the new title
Yes.
is kind of replaced the TNT title as like the second belt?
Well, I think it's the second tier belt, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, I think it goes like TNT's at the bottom, then yeah, then the middle tier would be the well, used to be called the All Atlantic, and then the world title,
I agree.
and and that's cool because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, now, do you think now that Ring of Honor is really going, do you think that the champions bleed both ways?
Probably not right away. I wouldn't do it
Same
right
here.
away. I would do it like especially because a lot of the titles like they repeat themselves, right? Like Ring of Honor has a TV title. Ring of Honor
True.
has a 6-man title. So I feel like they would keep them separate there at least for a while.
Oh, I wonder how they're going to do Battle of the Belts. Like if Ring of Honor it can participate in that. That's going to be
Yeah, I don't
interesting.
know.
Um, okay, talk about things starting anew. Ricky Starks.
Yes.
First off, like fantastic promo.
Yeah, great promo.
Fire.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
he's very over. Like I couldn't believe. I mean, I knew he was over, but just when that music hit, that was like he doesn't need to come out for the reaction anymore. He has that. Well, he has that. Excuse the quote unquote here, but superstar. It just that first music hits and you go nuts.
Yeah.
And he is. Oh, I feel so happy for him. I love it. Um, now it was the gigantic Bullet Club logo a precursor to something? You think?
I definitely for the brief second thought it was Jay White until the
Right.
internet for screamed today that Jay White's no longer in Bullet Club.
Of course.
But I definitely thought that's who it was. And I think they did that on purpose just to kind of
Yes.
tease you. I don't know if it's a tease that doesn't go anywhere, if it's a I'm the boss of this place tease that has no follow-up yet, or if it's a tease because Jay White is coming. I don't know.
Well, either way, it was incredible because I thought the same thing you did. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And what they have done with Juice Robinson, and like he has had a very solid push on Dark and Elevation. And now to see him, like, I think he's the first person that we're going to see that had a name, but didn't really, like, had a name, but didn't have a name in the United States.
Right.
Give him, a few months on Dark and Elevation, let the AEW crowd know them, and then boom, put him on the big show. I think he's the first person that, like, obviously it's not going to be everybody, but of those mid-tier New Japan people or mid-tier indie wrestlers that maybe Joe Average doesn't know, and then we won't have these moments of who the heck was that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Rather than just have them show up out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, like, even if they just show up like on Dark and you don't know who they are, like that'll be known. Like, oh, okay, that's a new guy. That's where they go, or that's
Yeah.
I just think this is perfect because now everybody knows who he is, and I really hope if he's the leader of the Bullet Club, I really hope they blend Tony Storm and the group of girls in with him.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Because I mean, they're like, are they married or are they dating?
I don't know if I think they're married. I think they might have got married during COVID, like secretly got married,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure.
But please, because I mean, come on, everybody knows that they're married.
Right.
So, oh,
And the outsiders already have the NWO ish to them that Bullet Club also has. So
yes. Oh,
I really wonder if this is going to be when he said he gave an interview online on Twitter, I think it was with Lexi Nair, where he said like, "Oh, Bullet Club's coming." Like not at the meeting, it's not just him, but I don't know if that means like some Bullet Club guys from New Japan are coming, or is it like is he forming a AEW version,
like a new Bullet Club,
like a AEW Bullet Club with his own people, right? Like I remember like NWO Japan, where it was like it's not really it's the NWO, but it's not really the NWO. It's its own group. So I wonder if he's forming like an AEW Bullet Club, or if some of the New Japan Bullet Club is coming. I don't know. There also is a Bullet Club in Impact, so I don't know if they're all related or what's going on with that.
Okay. And I just thought of something too. What if that is the business that Don Callis and Kenny Omega had to take care of?
That's true.
Because they were also Bullet Club.
This could go a lot of places.
Oh, this is so fun. We had three. I just realized this. 3 interviews in a row.
Yes.
Tony Schiavone backstage with Wardlow.
4 actually. Well, not interviews, but 4 like promos.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then Ruby was next.
Yeah.
Okay, me and you talked about this privately, but Wardlow's car getting broke into, work or real?
I thought it was real until like it was the theme of the show, and then I was like, that's probably not real.
Agreed.
When it first happened, I thought it was real. Even when they first mentioned it, I was like, okay, they took a real thing and they're referencing it. But then as the night went on and it became like the focal point of the show, I was like, yeah, that's probably not real.
I like how like Wardlow tried to make it seem like they took everything from me. Like, okay, the dude didn't have like $50 to go to Walmart and buy clothes. Like,
I was thinking that
FTR hooked me up.
Yeah, and like his car got broken into like last night. He had the whole day. Like it's not like his car just got broken into, and he had all day. He could have went and bought a shirt. Like he could have like went to a merchandise stand and bought a shirt.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good thing FTR was there.
Also, he didn't.
They had an extra.
He didn't make any point to get his own shirt. Like Wardlow has shirts.
Yeah, like I mean, you can't call Tony Khan and be like, "Hey, man, I need one of my own this week. I'll get you next week."
Tony Khan's like, "Nope, sorry, I can't give you a shirt. I won't. I refuse." Yeah, but you're right. He couldn't just like go to it. Like, there's no stores. They're in. There was not a single store he could have went to and bought himself some clothes.
Yeah,
I just know if all my clothes were stolen, like I could buy new clothes. So I'm pretty sure Wardlow can.
Yeah, I mean, it's people might complain they don't make tons of money, but geez, I mean, dude had $50. I mean,
I would have liked to see him wearing like where were they? Sacramento, right? Yeah, Sacramento. I would have liked to see him wear like cheesy Sacramento merchandise, like souvenir merchandise, like a shirt that's like "Welcome to Sacramento." Yeah, from like a gas station that said like "Welcome to Sacramento" with like a cheesy photo of the skyline or something. Like he should have worn that.
That would have been amazing. Oh, it was so good. Well, going on with our to the next promo.
Yes.
Renee in ring with Ruby. Ruby is a great heel.
Oh yeah.
And we had a Chris Statlander mention, which is it going to be Ruby and Statlander, or does Statlander go after Jade?
I think Statlander goes after Jade.
I think so too.
I think that was the plan before she got hurt, and they're kind of just stretching it out until she comes back.
And I agree, and I think the message by Ruby was to get Stats like
so you remember her, like you remember who she is, But this promo was great.
Oh, so good.
Really good promo, excellent promo.
So good, like.
And she explained everything, like why she did what she did, and why the other, like no one's ever really explained why the others did what they did, like Tony and Saraya. Right. But it was really good, really really good. It was kind of like the not saying it was on par and historically or anything, but it was kind of like the Hogan promo when he turned and joined Hall and Nash, and then they kind of outlined what they were doing. It was good. I liked it a lot. I saw some people being upset, being like, well, that's not true. Like she wasn't booed the whole, that's the point. She's a heel, right? She's like, she's delusional. Yeah. That's the point. Even commentary mentioned that, like, oh, this is selective memory.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. Of course it is. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean,
a heel's not going to come out and go, yes, I understand that I was mostly cheered, but on occasion I was booed, and that upset me. I understand. I recognize that like, no, of course she's going to be like, the fans turned on me, even though they didn't really turn on her, but in her mind they did.
Exactly.
Good promo. Very good promo. I liked it a lot.
Good promo. And when they announced it was going to be Ruby and Sky Blue, I was very mad because, I mean, we all know Sky Blue's my girl. And I thought they were sending her out to like slaughter.
Yeah.
And the match itself had no, like, if you go by pro wrestling rules, the match should not have been this good at all.
Right.
Because the heel calls out the young baby face, and of course, blah, 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 they're going to beat him up. But it was a solid match.
Yeah.
Again, just different enough. What do you think of like Ruby's new move set? Like, she seems to be, now that she's heelish, like she seemed way more aggressive, or was that just me?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think her two finishes, or her finishers, or finishing her signature, the Destination Unknown, and what's the other one called?
Destination Unknown and something. Oh, it's the kick.
Yeah. I think she might need a new finish. Those are okay, but they're not like as impactful as they could be. Like, they're fine, but they're not. She could do, now that she's a heel, she could change her finish to something a bit more impactful. But otherwise, yeah, her wrestling was a lot more angry.
And it was good.
No future. That's what it is.
No future. There it is. It was killing me. I was about to hit the Google machine. There's so many levels. This Willow makes the save after the match.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, I skipped the whole line. Tony and Saraya come in after the match, and they start to, everybody beats up Sky Blue, and then Willow comes in to make the save. Apparently, Saraya has been really asking for women's tag titles. Well, apparently now Sky Blue and Willow are tag team partners, because that looks like what they set up to me.
Yeah, they were a team like once before, weren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then Willow, yeah, I like it. I like Willow's great. So anytime she gets to be doing more, like she's now pulling double duty because she's also pretty big part of ROH.
Yes.
But yeah, I think they could definitely do women's tag titles. And again, we've talked about this. I love this whole storyline. I know it's very NWO-ish. The crowd even chanted NWO at them.
Yes.
But like, that's fine. Like, the NWO was cool, and it was 25 years ago. You could do it again. Like that's perfectly fine.
Right. And like, it's thank you for bringing this up. Like, so many people complain, like, everything has been done.
Right.
Every faction is basically the Four Horsemen. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah. If the NWO was a thing, 5 years ago, you could be like,
right.
oh yeah, why are they doing it again? But like, it's been 25 years. They could do it again.
Totally. And it's the internet's just terrible. Renee backstage again.
Oh yeah, another promo. There you go.
Yeah, there was just one after
Promo
another.
heavy show.
Not
in a bad way. I liked them.
Not in a bad way.
They were all good.
And they all made sense.
Yes.
They well, like this one, well, until 10 minutes later, but it put some finality to Mox and Hangman for a minute.
Yes.
Now, Hangman put the locker room on warning. Do you think that? I mean, obviously we know what happened later in the show, but just pretend that didn't happen right now. What do you think is next?
I would assume that he's probably going to challenge. I don't know if he'll be like MJF's next big challenger for like the next pay-per-view, because I think MJF's going to hold the title for a while. So I don't know if they want to have Hangman lose to him this soon, but I can see him he's going back to the main event level, I believe.
Agreed. And I just thought of something so ridiculous. Punk hold the title in WWE.
430 something.
They have it on Max for one more.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I bet you that's the game plan.
That would be really funny. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Speaking of Max, these post-match interviews from the week before are incredible.
Yeah, I love them. And before we get into this, speaking of things that I love, I didn't even mention it. I loved that the opening to Dynamite was like a recap of the pay-per-view. That was amazing.
Yes, that was so cool. Like, that was, please let that keep happening, because that was awesome. MJF is just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
really do like putting them behind the, from the week before, like right after a match. I like that.
It's the rawness. It's the adrenaline. I mean, he was covered in dried blood from the pay-per-view. It was, and the sad part about MJF that is incredible. Well, not sad part. That's totally the wrong words. The incredible part about MJF is he opens with, "I told you all I was going to do this."
Right.
It's the greatest heel move, because you hate him more,
right?
Because he told you, and then he does it.
Then he reminded you that he told you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's not like, like I trained hard and I did this. No, he got to that. But
right.
He opened with, "I told you this was going to happen." Oh, so good.
Good promo.
And yet another promo, Shivani in ring with FTR. I did not realize watching the show that there were this many promos.
Me neither, but I liked them all. Like, none of them, at no point did I think, oh, we've had too many promos. Like, I didn't think that at all. But now that we're going through
that's
them.
How good that,
Yeah.
That, Shivani in ring with FTR. We already kind of talked about this in the recap. They're signed, right?
Yeah, they must. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like,
I mean, if their contract was up in a month, they wouldn't be like, you know what? Let's bring them back and put them in a title program just so they can leave again.
I read the greatest tweet of all time. Like, somebody said, "Well, he said on his podcast that they're not signed yet," and someone was like, "And he also said that it's professional wrestling the week before, and you never tell the truth," or something like that. Like, and like, how could you take
it always reminds me of when Punk did the pipe bomb in WWE, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they let me just say anything. No one knew what I was going to say." I'm like, "Yes, they did. They knew what you were going to say." Exactly. And then when he goes into, "Oh, we know the night of Money in the Bank, they didn't know if I was going to re-sign with them." Yes, they did. They wouldn't have, like, I like that. That's the narrative you're pushing. That's cool. That like makes the story better. But like, there's no way they put you in a world title match. I go, maybe he's leaving tonight. Like maybe we'll have him win the belt and then we'll see if he signs a contract. There's no way that they do that. None whatsoever. So,
just because they're smart business people.
Right.
Like, yeah, you would never do that.
So like, there's no way that they're like, FTR hasn't been on TV for a while. I know their contract's up in 3 weeks, but let's bring them back, have them challenge the champion. Maybe they'll win the belts and then maybe they'll leave. And who cares? Yeah. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's, they're stand-up human beings.
It's not like they're going to walk. There's obviously another company they could just walk out to with our titles. There's no way
with our titles, right?
No, none whatsoever. Let's just give them the belts. It'll be fine. Just like MJF. I'm sure he's not signed either.
Come on. It's unbelievable.
You don't give people your world title if they aren't under contract to you.
Right, because all the other company, like either way, like, not just saying that WWE would do this, because AEW would do the same thing.
Right.
Like, you pull out your checkbook and say, here, this is a blank check. Show up on my show with that title.
Yeah.
You could fill the rest of that out.
You think if it turned out that Roman Reigns, a contract expired a week before WrestleMania, that Tony Khan wouldn't be like, hey, you know what? Here's any amount of money you want.
Right. Like, even if it's just one time, like, don't even sign him. Just be like, hey, here's $10 million for 30 seconds. Just come and light that thing on fire.
Right.
Like, seriously. Like, people
did not watch Alundra Blaze throw a title in the garbage, and you can tell.
Yes. Or watch real sports whenever people sign with other teams.
Right.
It's like the other teams don't fold when that happens.
Right. But yes, good promo from FTR. It was like it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad. It was what it should have been.
That's what I was just going to say. It was exactly what it should have been. It was a recap and where they're going forward. And good Lord, I just turned the page. We had yet another promo backstage with Renee. And this one, it was an interesting one.
It was.
And, it was Renee backstage with Jade. And Jade basically calls out Canada.
Yes, I saw that. I'm assuming I have no idea who's going to challenge her. I figure I might do it. Because why not? She didn't say Canadian female wrestler. She just said Canadian. So I could do it.
It's very true.
So, I would lose. I would lose immediately, but I would get seriously injured. But why not?
Well, at least get the podcast shirt made. So
that's right.
It's on TV. I mean, it's
just so like as I'm being ripped in half, I'm also promoting the podcast.
Right. It's the least you can do for your country.
My dying moment. Listen to Elite City.
Right. And you did it for your country. So
there you go.
Is your hero.
But I honestly have no idea who this is going to be. And I think the internet was discussing it today. I can't even think of like an unsigned Canadian women's wrestler who could be at this level. Like, I'm like, there are women's wrestlers, but like they're not anyone that could challenge Jade.
I was going to say, is it sad that as soon as you said that, the only person, and it's now like a day later, it's like Natty.
Right.
And I don't even know if she's really Canadian. Was she born there?
She was born there, yeah.
Okay. So like, I wasn't even sure of that, if she was really Canadian or if she was born here and then moved up there.
No, she was born. I think she was born there. Or at least grew up in Alberta.
And she has like, obviously she's signed by WWE.
Yeah,
so
like she has a sister. Maybe it's her sister. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Oh wait, where's Serena Deeb from?
No, she's somewhere in the US.
Damn it. That was wishful thinking. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of people like someone like Serena Deeb, like, who we haven't seen for a while, like cycling somebody back in.
She's from Virginia, Serena Deeb.
Oh, well, there you go. And I just have no idea who it could be.
I have no idea either.
If again, Tony Khan, I know you listen. If this is one of those moments where they announce and they're like, and it is so and so, and you're like, no clue who that is.
Right.
You totally could have told us this previous week and we could have looked them up.
Right.
Like, just tell Jade, like, hey, I challenged this person.
Right.
And then like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I just really hope it's not another Satnam Singh moment.
Right. Yeah. I just Googled Canadians women's wrestler, and like, yeah, there's not like who isn't signed. I mean, Gail Kim, but I think she's retired. Like I don't.
Isn't that
She's an Impact.
yeah, I was gonna say, isn't she an Impact?
Yeah, I don't know if she's still an Impact or if she's retired or
Oh,
not.
okay.
Oh yeah, she's retired. It says she's retired.
Oh, she's
So
retired.
I don't know who else it could be. I honestly don't.
Yeah, same here. Unless we're just missing somebody like on the roster who we didn't realize was Canadian.
And who's
You
been
know what I
gone
mean?
for a little bit. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be someone. It's got to be someone who hasn't been around in a while, because otherwise, why would, if it's like the bunny, just challenge the bunny,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like,
But it piqued my interest, to say the
Yes.
least.
maybe there's someone from Winnipeg we're not recognizing.
It's gonna be Jericho. He's gonna get involved with Jade
It's
he's
Yes.
gonna overstay his welcome in that feud.
gonna be a 6-month long feud between Jericho and Jade. He comes up with a contract. Nowhere does it say that the TBS title is a women's title. It just says TBS title. So
yes, we're gonna have a 57 match tournament, Jade. That would be incredible. Speaking of Chris Jericho, the JAS versus Top Fox. And again, I just my opinion, I think this trios match was just to say, hey, we actually have a whole trios division now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the reason they did it too.
Yeah, and I mean, the match was good. I mean, Top Fox, you're going to get quality, and it was Jericho and Sammy and Daniel Garcia. Excuse me. Did you notice that Sammy wasn't as hated?
Yes.
That was like the first thing I noticed. So,
yes.
Well, in my notes here, Shivani puts over the trios division. The match, like I said, it was like, I mean, it served its purpose.
Yeah,
for
it was
later.
fine.
It was, yeah. Now the ending was where the heel win for the JAS. Again, 2.0 are absolutely incredible. Please let them talk every week. Jericho calls out the House of Black, and the Elite answer.
Yes.
That would unprecedented coolness.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
Didn't expect it. Yeah. And then we thought we were gonna get.
I really like Don Callis taking the mic from Kenny too. Like there's a little bit of friction between them now.
Well, that's what I was just gonna get at. Like it was. I thought we were gonna get 2 weeks in a row. I thought we were gonna get the Elite promo that we haven't got yet.
And still haven't. Yeah. Kenny talked a little bit.
And he teased what we've been up to, and
right.
it was and then Don Callis ruined it.
Yes.
And after Don Callis ruins it and he starts to talk, lights go out again. House of Black shows up, which I thought was awesome, in the middle of the ramp between the two.
Yes.
And Malachi had a mic, and he basically just said all you had to do was ask.
Yes.
And next week we're gonna get. Now, did they announce it as a tornado tag?
They haven't said. It's just like a 3-way. I don't know how to. It's a 3-way match. I'm assuming it's just everybody. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Is there going to be 3 people in the ring at all times?
I don't know if it's like 3 in the ring, but they have to tag in and out, or if it's just like I have no idea.
It's just like full blown chaos.
Yeah, I have no idea. Or if it's like one of those like the 4 ways where 2 people are in and you could tag anyone.
That's true too.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was a little surprised. I thought it was going to be the Elite against the JAS next week, and then the winners would face House of Black. But this works out too.
Well, this is, in my opinion, I think this is where you put the staple on the House of Black as they are going to be the top of the division for a minute. Like those titles, I mean, there was the tribulation there at the beginning where they were stripped, and then there was the tournament. Or there was the tournament, then there was one and stripped, and the best of 7, and then it lost again.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the House of Black through at least Forbidden Door.
I also really liked Malachi's like promo video he started off with being like, if you want these, and then cut live to him saying, come get them.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm slightly worried, though. I agree with you that they should stay on the House of Black for a long time. I'm a little worried that it's in Winnipeg and Jericho is going to want to win the titles in Winnipeg. I'm slightly worried about that. He does have pull in management. Like I'm not even saying that he shouldn't have pull. He's like all veteran wrestlers. Like the top guys always have pull with management. Like that's how wrestling works. And I'm a little worried.
I would be more worried if I didn't just say what I said, like the title's changing hands too many times. Like, if it didn't do that, I would like be like, oh yeah, you're definitely right, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I think because I doubt that happens. But now that you said it, you just planted that seed in my head. It's like,
it does help that Kenny's also from Winnipeg, so maybe they'll cancel the Winnipeg teams will cancel each other out, and then
good call.
House of Black will win. I don't know. It'll be a fun match.
It'll be right after that, we had probably
I think an 8-year-old kid gave a book report next, didn't he?
Yes, I was just gonna say, like, the weirdest moment in the history of television. Tony Khan, you're worth like billions of dollars. Take public speaking class. I mean, it's probably like $100, dude. It's not that hard. Tony Khan comes out, and it took him 45 minutes to explain that Orange Cassidy was fighting Jeff Jarrett.
And that, like, because they tied it into like the Shazam movie.
Yes.
I know, like, the network gave him a bunch of phrases they wanted him to say, but like he just like repeated. So Shazam, level up, international title, Jeff Jarrett, Orange Cassidy, Shazam, level up, title.
Yes. And
like, didn't he not have cue cards? Like, when?
Yeah, like, I mean, come on, like, you could have totally scripted that.
And why did he not like just pre-record it? Like, if he's not great on TV, which is fine. Like, not everyone is.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Like, why the hell did he go live on national television?
He could have taped it, like, and done 50 takes, or maybe they did 50 takes and that was the best one.
That was the best one he did. That would be even better. It's even better.
He's like, in most of them, he's not even looking at the camera. He just like he's staring at his shoes. Like, it's.
Yeah, it was very awkward. It was absolutely amazing.
I do like that he's like such a rich, successful person, but like there's still stuff you could go like, yeah, he's not good at everything. He can't talk.
Right. And whenever, just a quick little anecdote. Whenever at the Pittsburgh Dynamite, whenever Jay White and Adam Cole ruined the announcement for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
He was on stage with Gato, however you say his name, and he was acting like the Mr. McMahon character from New Japan,
right?
And he played it, and like Tony Khan literally like stomped like a child off the stage, and I thought that I was so mad that it wasn't on TV. I was so happy that I got to see that.
That's great.
I was like, why did he think that was what you should do? I was like, of all things, like, I was like, dude, like, you could be mad and not have to overreact.
I saw someone say every time Tony Khan is like out in public, like on AEW, he's either the most awkward, teenager giving in a report, or he's just screaming.
Yes.
Because when he had Rampage, he just came out. He's like, "We're gonna have a really great show, everyone!" And just like that was his whole thing.
Yeah, when he's all about it when you're there live. I mean, dude has more fun than anybody in that building.
Yeah.
And we also learned that the All Atlantic title is now called the International Championship.
Leveled up.
It's leveled up.
Leveled up. You're contractually required to say leveled up for some reason.
I mean, I get why they did it. I don't know. It's going to be hard to call it the International Championship now.
Yeah, it's weird to change a title's name just like for no apparent reason, really. Like, it is odd. Yeah. I know what happens. Like, it does happen. Like, yeah, but it's a little. At least they mentioned it. Like, I feel like this is not a shot at WWE, really. But what WWE would have done is, like, the next show they just call it the International Championship, and people, wasn't it called the? No, it's always been. And just just rewrite the history of it.
just beep it out in all previous episodes.
I like
Um,
international title. I get why it's slightly confusing between international and world, but
yeah,
it's a better name than All Atlantic when it's not just Atlantic Ocean countries.
correct.
That was always a weird name.
Yeah, and like it serves its purpose. Like, I mean,
It's a better name than All Atlantic.
it's definitely a better name. Uh, it's just like, eh. I mean,
How long until JR calls it the Intercontinental title?
probably like 11 seconds. Because that's what I like. I almost called it that 4 times just reading it.
Yeah. And I love JR. No knock against JR, but like he when he calls something by a WWE name, I don't even like get upset because he worked there for like 20 years. Of course, that's what
it's
he
burned
thinks
into
of.
his head. Like,
right.
You know, like people forget that he yes, he worked for WCW, but he worked at WWF/E like 2 times longer than he was ever in WCW.
Yeah. So if he says it like except the time he called it WWE Dynamite, that was kind of bad. But
yeah, that was bad. And it's like I mean, he's called Danielson Bryan a couple times.
Yeah, but I mean, I have too. I've called him Daniel Bryan too. Like, that's fine.
So, you know, whatever. And he's also like, isn't he pushing like 80? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go on that too. Okay, another promo. Wow, there were a lot of them. A Danielson.
71.
71. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, JR. I put a whole decade on you. And we had Danielson had a post match.
Yes.
He said he was ashamed that he tapped. That wasn't very BCC-ish of him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This promo was good.
It was so good. He said it's time for him to go home. He said Max got to him when he talked about he was going to fight harder and then he couldn't feel his arms and he started thinking about his kids. Oh, such a good promo.
Yeah, I like that he admitted that Max got to him too.
Yes. So is he off TV for at least a couple weeks?
I mean, based on the promo, he should be. If he comes back in 2 weeks and it's just like Bryan Danielson again, like that would be odd. So I assume based on the promo that he gave, he's going to be gone for a little while.
I really hope that this sets up Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. That's all I want to see.
Yeah. I think maybe I could see him being gone for a little while, and then like Zack Sabre Jr. calls him out before Forbidden Door, and then he comes back for that.
And that would make sense.
Because there's got to be a reason he comes back. He can't be like, oh, I care more about my family than wrestling now, and I don't want to get hurt because I want to be able to play with my kids. He can't just like come back in a month and just be like, actually, you know what? I don't care about my kids. I want to wrestle again.
Actually, I thought about it. Yeah, I'd rather wrestle.
I spent a month home with my kids. Yeah, they're tiring. I can't. Kids are loud. They talk too much. I can't deal with that. I'm back here.
Like, I was trying to teach them the figure 4. They weren't into it. I lost interest.
They kept just wanting to play with Lego. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They have no interest in watching Japanese wrestling. None whatsoever.
1986. Yeah, he's like Eddie and Claudio came over. We had busted the VCR out. We watched.
They kept complaining that it wasn't Bluey. They just want to watch cartoons.
Yeah, there was no wrestling in that. I was explaining to them the importance of a wrist lock, and Bree's trying to tell me they need to learn to read.
They were just wanting to sing. It was not. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the BCC, Mox and Claudio versus Reynolds and Silver.
Yes.
Of the Dark Order.
Yes.
I think BCC went full blown heel tonight or last.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Do you think before we get to that, do you think it was odd that Mox was just wrestling after he went through that, got hit with a brick in the head?
I mean, yeah, it was real weird. I can't believe he didn't like literally. When I say bust himself open, like not cut himself, like I can't believe that he just didn't start bleeding because it hasn't healed yet.
Right.
Like, I mean, it blew my mind.
Like there was a part of me that thinks he should have taken time off to like sell. First of all, because he
Right.
actually went through a terrible, like as a
Yeah.
person, as a human being, he should take
Yes.
time off to rest. Then there's a part of me that thinks he should take off time, like storyline wise, to sell the situation. But I also think Mox's character and his real life,
No,
I
that's
assume,
true too.
is the kind of guy who's like, no, I'm fine, and just like, you know, tapes his arm back into the socket and keeps
Yeah,
going.
that's true.
So, but yeah, it was a
I
little
mean,
odd.
um, surprising match. I'm gonna say. I mean, I did not think that not say that I wouldn't care about it, but I just didn't think that I would care about it,
Right.
and they delivered, and it
Yeah.
was solid and entertaining match.
Yes.
Um, oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. How do you feel about the comedy aspect
In
of
terms
them?
of what? Like, does it fit them?
Yeah, like with their like the actual wrestling, like not them doing the promo stuff. Because like The Rock, like you could be funny in a promo.
Right.
Like, do you think they should be more serious in the ring?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay,
because that's kind of their thing, right? Is like being funny.
right.
It's not like they're like making a mockery of the match. They're just like kind of funny while they're wrestling. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. I see. I'm torn on it. Like it sometimes it really bothers me, and sometimes I don't
Yeah,
care. Like it doesn't.
it does depend on the match too in the situation.
And see, in this one, like they didn't do it a lot, but at the beginning, like Silver was kind of like making his faces and stuff, and I was thinking like, okay, like in real life you would not be mocking these guys
Right.
because they would just come and punch you in the mouth.
Right.
But then it got like obviously as the match went on, it got more serious, and Reynolds and Silver are like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they're a really good team.
That it was just such a good match, and Mox and Claudio are wonderful too. But um, okay, when Claudio threw Silver over the top rope, I literally thought he killed him.
Yeah.
Like poor John missed like he missed grabbing the rope. I mean, he got it a little bit, but
And
that
he
had
just tossed them like so with such ease too. He just like
yes,
whoop.
yeah, it was like he literally threw like a pill.
Right.
And like I was as it was happening, I was like I saw it in slow motion. I was like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
He was just there for a second and then gone.
I'm just gone. Yeah.
I mean, like you heard the hit and it was just like, oh, poor guy. Um, Evil Uno saves the day,
Yes.
and well, after the match, Evil Uno saves the day,
Yes.
and then uh, the BCC attack Evil Uno, and they're crushing the Dark Order, and then Hangman shows up, of course.
Yes.
That's and as you said before, or as we said before, like even though he said about 35 minutes prior to this that everything with him and John Moxley was done,
Yes.
uh, did this reignite it, or is this just a little like, hey, we're probably always gonna have like, is this like they're always gonna kind of
Yeah,
have
I
a
don't know
thing
about that.
for each other?
I don't know
Like,
if this is going to be like a now they're going to have a feud between the two groups, or if if this was just a kind of like, oh yeah, we're always in our each other's
yeah, like
orbits, sort
Mox
of.
and Hangman, yeah, like see, I don't know either. I would really like to see like a BCC versus Dark Order, but like, do I really need to?
Yeah. If this
I
feud,
like,
if this Hangman Mox feud continues, um, then maybe we were blaming Jericho wrongly. Maybe it's the BCC who insists on
maybe,
having incredibly
yes,
long feuds. Maybe it wasn't Jericho. Maybe it's
that's
them.
true.
Maybe it's like Moxie's like, no, every series has to be 17 matches. I can't have less than 17 matches against a guy.
Right. Yeah, yeah, maybe that's why uh, it wasn't the BCC then, but whatever the Mox and Jericho's groups went after each other for about
That's
2
right.
years.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I mean that's going to be an interesting dynamic on what they're going to do. But at least the
Yes.
seeds are planted.
Yes. And well,
but
if Hangman is going to be with the Dark Order, there's more of them now than BCC, especially if Danielson's not around. So
true.
I don't know what's going to happen there.
That is true. Well, before we hit the main event, we had another promo.
Yes.
Renee again backstage with the Acclaimed, and the Acclaimed basically it was kind of what they needed. Semi-serious, but still the Acclaimed type
Yeah.
promo to let everybody know we're still here, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And then 2.0 comes, and please let this be a feud, Tony Khan.
just for the promos, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just for the promos. 2.0 offers them a spot in the JAS because, they basically said, face it, you're sports entertainers. I mean, which they really are. Don't
Yes.
tell the Acclaim that, though. Um, it was just fun, and I really hope this turns into something, even if it's just one match,
Right.
because it's going to be hilarious and fun.
Even if just like on Rampage or something, they do a thing, yeah.
Yeah, just because 2.0 are great, and the Acclaimed are great, and it would be hilarious.
Agreed.
Main event time, TNT Championship, Wardlow versus Hobbs. We found out earlier in the night, as we said, that it was going to be basically a street fight. So it starts backstage. What was it? What were your thoughts on the dynamic of this match? Like, do you think
I
it
love
pretty
any
much
time a match starts just in a random spot. I think I mentioned that
Same
before.
here.
So
Yes,
immediate, love the match. Also, that was, I assume, a rental car. Did they just rent a car and just destroy it?
they had to. They had to. It was. I mean, they make that claim. Like, what was it in the first Jackass movie, that you pay the extra $10, you have 100% coverage.
Right.
So maybe they just did that and then said, "Oh, someone got powerbombed through the windshield."
I
So
really
sorry.
hope they returned it with the windshield smack and the door kind of ripped off and here's your car back.
We don't know what happened. And then the guy just happened to be that runs the dealership, just had to be watching Dynamite.
I saw on
"Wait a minute,
TV
that's
and no,
one of
that was a different car. That was not the
Yeah,
same car.
that was somebody else's
Yes.
white car that looked like the one we rented off you."
Yes. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought the match was actually really good too until the ending.
Until the ending, I agree. Believe it or not, the internet was upset with the start of the match. They did
Really?
not
Why?
like it. It's so many people were complaining that it made no sense, and I was like, it was two people that wanted to fight each other. If you ever were you ever out at a bar when a fight erupted, people don't say, "Okay, everybody, we're gonna fight, but we're gonna go outside first."
It was two people who wanted to fight each other, and they knew that the match they were having allowed that.
Allowed that.
So yeah.
Why would it start in the ring?
Yeah. No, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I loved it. They beat the heck out of each other. When Wardlow does his swanton,
yes,
I'm just gonna say it. People can yell at me if they want. It is, I think, it's better than Jeff Hardy's.
I do worry every time that he's gonna mess it up.
Same here, because he does it so slow.
Yeah,
but it's so cool.
It's really cool for sure.
They just went. I mean, power bomb. Hobbs got power bombed on the ramp by Wardlow, and then all of a sudden, QT Marshall shows up. Marshall, excuse me, with his QT TV shirt on.
If you had asked me before this match who was gonna interfere, I never would have. I could have named 50 people before QT. Right. I would have been like Renee, maybe that's an option. But never QT Marshall.
1000%.
Maybe it's Tony Schiavone. Nope, QT Marshall.
It's confusing.
Yes.
I mean, on Dark and Elevation, if you haven't been watching, they've been putting these little 5-second flashes on the screen, coming soon, QT TV, blah blah blah. Everybody obviously knows what it is. I mean, the guy's name is QT Marshall.
Right.
So, I mean, uh, as to what that is, they really haven't said yet.
I think like a
But
GTV type secret hidden
yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
and
that's
on
what I'm
Twitter, he's
guessing.
hinted that they have footage of Wardlow's car being broken into, which makes me think that it was a work. But
I mean, of course they do.
yes,
And that's what I was just going to say. Like, that's what I think this is going to be. I think it's just a setup for someone for Hobbs to beat up.
yeah, it. I think QT Marshall having a new group, because I think he mentioned somewhere the factory's done. Um,
Oh, okay.
I think he tweeted it like a couple days ago. But him having a group would be fine. Him having a new gimmick where he's like, filming surveillance stuff, that's fine. It's weird to put him from like a guy on Dark who even on Dark isn't like a top star. Like he's on Dark all the
Right.
time. He's entertaining. That's not saying he's not, but like he's
Right.
not a main event level character, even
Right.
on Dark. And to take him from like, mid card on Dark to main event of a Dynamite is in a title match is odd.
Yeah, like you said, like I could have guessed 100 people, and I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I
Like,
honestly would have picked like Tony Schiavone and before QT Marshall.
yeah, I don't know. That one's. I mean, I have faith.
I'll see where it goes. Like I'll let it play out
Oh,
before I like
absolutely.
decide I absolutely hate it. But like, especially because their reasoning for it was like, do you remember months ago when he attacked Ricky Starks and he said he owes him? Like that's weird reasoning to like.
Yeah, like
It's
that's
odd.
that's the opposite of long-term storytelling. Like the people actually have to remember it happening.
Right.
Like I did not.
Especially because like we saw earlier, Hobbs doesn't need anyone to cut promos for him.
Right.
Like his promos are good. Like he's not like a superstar, but like he's good. He's good enough to
Right.
do his own promos that like he can get his point across and he's fine. So there's no reason. And it's not like QT Marshall is like if it was like what's his name? Like when Tully Blanchard showed up with FTR, you could be like, okay, he's a random person to be involved in main level storyline, but like he had a history of being like a main event. If they brought someone back from like, WCW time, you'd be like, okay, he has a history of like managing main event people.
Right.
Like if it was like Jimmy Hart or something, you'd be like, okay, that's weird, but at least he has like some sort like QT Marshall, like he's only managed like lower card guys.
Right. Hey, it's like I said, I'm along for the ride. I have some faith at the beginning, at least. But
yeah, I'm not gonna hate it immediately. Like if next week it comes out and it's awesome, I'm not still gonna like hold a grudge against it. Like I'll let it play out. But it was very weird.
I'm just confused on where it's gonna go.
Yes,
Like
very confused.
Nobody knows what QTTV is. Nobody. I mean, it's just there's a lot of unknowns right now.
And it also not that. I mean, wrestling's fake, right? So they can always make
What?
some. Yeah, I know. I just found out too. Sorry to break it to you like that.
Oh man.
But like they can always, whenever they talk about, oh, this guy's buried, this guy's lost his moment. That does happen, but you can always bring someone back because you're scripting the show, so you can always.
Yeah.
But like it is weird for Hobbs's big title victory to kind of happen with QT. Like it's not even odd that it happened in like a screw job finish, because all kinds of big title victories end in screw job finishes.
True.
But like they don't usually execute screw job finishes to someone like QT Marshall. Like if it was a bigger level guy, even if it was Taz, even if Taz turned and attacked him and like reunited with Hobbs, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. Like I'd understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that was like a waste of a title match, because Taz has a history, right? But QT Marshall's QT Marshall. Like he's fine. He's entertaining. Like I'm not even knocking him. It's just
I know. I'm with you. It was just confusing.
Yeah. Very confusing.
On a big level confusing.
Like someone who has barely any connection to, first of all, Dynamite, or connection to Hobbs, connection to Wardlow. Right. Like if it like it's like no connection to any of this. It's very odd.
Unless that's what this whole QTTV thing is. I don't know. Like they're gonna have a lot of explaining to do if he has like 4 years of footage, and he's been like
Right.
scheming this whole time. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just weird.
If they're gonna try to make him like main event QT Marshall, like this like great mastermind who's been plotted, like that's gonna be kind of a
A
stretch.
disaster.
Yeah.
But
I
all
kind
in
of
all,
hope Hobbs. I was kind of hoping Hobbs would just like they weren't
blast
together.
him.
Yeah, like they weren't together. Like QT helped them, and then Hobbs is like, "Yeah, I don't actually need you," and just
Yes.
like, but like the fact that like Hobbs held up the title and QT was like celebrating with him made me think like, oh, they're going to be a team. It'd be one thing if it was just like he had an issue with Wardlow, and like even if it was like Smart Mark who came out, you'd be like, okay, he has an issue with Wardlow. I understand
That's
that.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Right,
too.
but like, has QT ever interacted with Wardlow in any capacity?
Not to. I mean, not that I remember.
Yeah, even if it was someone else in the factory, if it was like Nick Camarado or something, I'd be like, okay, I understand what they're doing. Like, I don't. It's weird, but I would understand it.
It's just an odd choice.
It is kind of like when Cole Carter showed up randomly that time under the Sting mask. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was the factory. Just has never really.
So which was a more awkward segment? Cole Carter showing up, this, or when Satnam Singh debuted?
That's a toss up between Cole Carter. At least people knew who QT was.
Right. Yeah, at least people knew
That's
who
a
it was.
toss up between Satnam Singh and Cole Carter.
Yeah.
But it's close. I mean, all in all, I thought it was a fantastic show. It was a lot of fun.
I agree.
And it did set up a lot of new stuff.
Yes, I agree.
Which we talked about, we thought was going to happen. Some stuff has been announced for tomorrow night, but I don't think we know the whole show yet.
No.
And nothing really. Again, I think it's going to be more of a. Well, it's taped. I don't read spoilers, so I don't know what happened. So
yeah.
I imagine it's going to be more of the same. I think it'll be more of a setup show to set up some other stuff.
Yeah, what it is I'm looking at it now. It's Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti, Takeshita and Preston Vance.
Okay.
Nyla Rose and Riho, and we hear from Jack Perry and the Acclaimed.
Oh, okay. So see, I didn't know anything about hearing from the Acclaimed and Jack Perry. So there you go.
Yeah. But you're right. I think it is going to be like more of a setup establishing show.
And then, I mean, from that point on, we're officially headed towards Double or Nothing, and that's
yes. And next week will be a big show there in Winnipeg. It's a big arena. Yeah. It'll be a hot crowd, and it's a new place they haven't been to before, so they're gonna have a big show.
Is Rampage live? Or are they doing 2 shows in Winnipeg?
I think they're doing 2 shows in Winnipeg.
Oh, so it will be a live Rampage.
Yeah.
Good. Well.
Oh no, sorry. Nope. They're taping them both tomorrow. They're taping them both on the same day.
Oh, they're taping them both on the same day.
But next week's Rampage is St. Patrick's Day Slam, so they'll do something there.
Oh, so it is. It's a special.
Yes.
Got a subtitle.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add on the?
No, that's it. Yeah, I'm good.
You good? Okay. Since we did the bonus episode, we decided to keep them both roughly about an hour, so you didn't have to hear us talk for 17 hours this week.
Yes. But for anyone who listened again, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very, very much. Everything's been going up. I keep saying this all the time, and that's no BS. So thank you. Again, we're at Elite City Pod on all social media. We have a website. It is
elitecitypod.wordpress.com.
.wordpress. I always want to say @WordPress.
Yes.
I'm not used to websites, even though grew up with them. That's kind of weird. Anyways, thank you again for listening and subscribing and retweeting and interacting with us. The podcast service we use just updated all their stuff, so we can do a lot of new things now. So we can run polls and all kind of stuff. So look for that in the future. And
once we figure it out.
Yeah, once we figure it out. It's literally just happened today, and like I almost had a meltdown trying to figure out how to get Rick involved on the call. So, I mean, it'll take us a minute.
Yes.
but yeah, thank you again. And right around the corner, the Pittsburgh Dynamite. So I will
There
be
you go.
there. And they're going to announce Toronto. Trust me.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We need a
So
pay-per-view. That's what we need.
we both need a pay per view. That would be
Yes.
amazing. But again, thank you as always. And right there. Until next week. Later.